Hey, my name is Cameron Beck with Eclipse Lighting and Grip, and today we're going over the Honda 7000 generator. Some key features about this generator is that it is a 7,000 watt unit. On the front of it, you will see a variety of different spicy things. There's three different breakers up here for a 20 amp, another 20 amp, and then a 30 amp, which will have a three-prong 30 amp, and then you have two 20 amp circuits, which from our earlier videos, if you're familiar with, the M18 can run off of each 20 amp circuit separate on the unit. Now how you start it is that you will take this key down here, you will turn it to on, you see this little screen come up, you'll push the button. I'm inside and I don't want to die of carbon monoxide poisoning. I think it's carbon monoxide, not sure. But I'm not gonna start it, that's all you do. That's super simple start. Honestly, they're really easy. The 3000, a little key you turn, the 7000, little key you turn, and that's about it. Some modifications you will see for this generator is sometimes up here, there will be a 60 amp plug on it, and there will be its own 60 amp dedicated breaker that's built into the unit. I'm not that advanced, so I don't do that. I have no idea how they do that. I have a general idea, but you will see that sometimes. So if you ever see that up there, know it's a 60 amp paddle that you can put on. Now, if you're having a stinger plugged in, or if you have other devices plugged in, it's really useful to get some trick line and tie it to the, I think you would call this the yoke, the little handlebars of the 7K. So let's say someone pulls on something, the tension will be pulled here and it won't just pop out, which could cause a spark or a few other things that might be dangerous. Now, something to take into consideration, if this is being run at a very high altitude, like if you're, let's say you are shooting in the mountains and you have a 7,000 generator, you cannot use as much as you think. So it says 7,000, but generators run less effectively in high altitude environments. So it's a niche thing that you might find yourself in, but take that into consideration that you can't fully load this unit if you're in a very high altitude climate. Also, something else, if you're ever thinking about getting your own Honda 7000, I highly recommend getting it caged out and kitted to where you have four wheels on it. It's giant, but it's a lot better than having to pick it up and then just mush it around everywhere. Something else that the Honda 7000 generator comes with is two GFI protectors. So, you know if you're in your house and a plug doesn't work, you have to reset it by putting that little thing on there. This has that as well. Something else to take into consideration is that there is a 240 volt plug. Something that I use a lot is that to run a 4K, I'll have a little, is it a 3-pin? Yeah, I'll have a 3-pin twist lock that goes into a 60 amp paddle, and you run it at 240, and you can run 4K at 240 like that. Oh, fun fact about this generator. So I didn't know this until recently. This little screen down here, when you do turn it on, you can push this little button and find out the wattage load that is being used on the generator. So if you're ever curious how many watts you're actually pulling with all your units, or you just want to test it, this is a good way to figure that out. Something else I get asked a lot is if you can fill it up while it's running. Yes, I've filled up hundreds of generators while running. It's quick, because think about it, if you had to turn it off every time you had to fill it up, set life would be kind of hard. Another thing Hondas are notorious for, this little dial up here that tells you the gas gauge is notoriously wrong a lot of the time. It's just not great. So what that means is that you can tap it and sometimes it'll work. A lot of the time you just have to open up and look, and that's a good gauge of figuring it out. There's a ton more stuff we could cover on this. That'll probably be covered in a later episode, but that's all we have today for the Honda 7000 generator.